50 years ago, it was a mandatory topic in schools across America. Considered a staple to proper learning, the very foundations of our nation utilize this system. But now, students barely know what it is. Oh, what am I talking about? Right, it's cursive. Luckily for you, in this speech, I will walk you through the basics of cursive, including how to write each letter and how the letters connect. First, the easiest way to learn is by grouping similar letters together. The very first group includes C, A, D, and G. C is the most basic letter, and it's simply a curve from the top right to the bottom right. For the A, you're just going to finish that curve and drop down. For D, you're going to bring that letter up after the A, and for the G, you'll finish an A and then drop down and loop over. The second group includes H, T, and P. For H, you're going to go up, drop down, and make a hump. For T, you're going to go up and drop down, but then after you finish the word, cross back over. And for P, you're going to go halfway up, drop all the way down, you're going to go back up and loop around. The next group is E, L, and F. This group, you need to pay attention onto the size of your letters as they all look relatively similar. The E is a small crossover loop. The L is like the E, but slightly larger. And the F, you're going to complete an L, but then bring it back up to make a line across the middle, right where the E would end. The fourth group is U, Y, I, and J. What's important to know about this group is that they each build on each other. For the U, you're going to start from the top left and go down to the top right, swooping down. The Y, you'll complete a U, but then after you've swooped down and completed the U, you'll drop down and connect. For the I, you're going to go halfway up and drop down. Then you'll put a dot after you finish the word. For the J, you'll complete an I, but once you've completed the I, go down and make a loop on the bottom half. The fifth group is K, R, and S. This might be one of the most difficult groups because each of the letters is different and does not have any similarities. So for the K, you're going to go halfway, you're going to go all the way up like you would for the L, go down, and then you're going to go back up and make a loop that is pointing towards the right. For the R, you're going to go up, bounce halfway down, so to a quarter of the way up, and then go back up and back down. For the S, you're going to take a diagonal up, connect the diagonal with a curve that is facing the bottom half, and then you'll draw it out so that way it'll be able to connect to other letters. The sixth group is O, W, B, and V. This group is these letters are all going to be met on the halfway line. The O is fairly simple. It is just a circle with lines pointing in either direction on the top part. A W is two U's. The B, you're going to go up and loop halfway up, drop back down, and then bring back to the middle. So basically, it'll look like a line with a loop and then the connecting part. The V is going to be like a U, but instead of curved, it's going to be straight. The seventh group is N and M. This might be the easiest group because all you have to remember is that you're going to add one more hump than you would to the letter in print. So the N will have two humps and the M will have three humps. The last group is X and Z. So for Z, it's going to be a diagonal swoop starting in the top left corner and then going down to the bottom right. Once you finish the word, you're going to cross over it. For the Z, it's going to be a diagonal hump pointing to the right, swoop downwards, and then cross over. So the next thing you need to know is how to connect all the letters. So imagine that all the letters are on a line. This right here will be the halfway point of the line. This is going to be the line. This is halfway up and all the way up. So what you want to make sure is that all your letters connect around somewhere on this line or this line. You do not want any letters to connect up here. And the easiest way to connect all of your letters is once you bring them down, you create the letter, and then you're just going to have a line continuing from one letter to another. For the letters O, W, B, and V, you're going to want it to be on the halfway line. That's why those are all grouped together. So now the best way to learn is actually to practice. So one of the easiest ones to practice with is your name, because that is what you'll probably be using the cursive the most. Then write minimum, just because that will help practice the flow of going down and up for all the letters. So cursive, it was once a staple in all of learning. It was important and built the foundations of our country, and so now you can be able to write this lost skill. And those are my sources.